Chelsea have Dybala plans, Arsenal fight United for a new centre-back, Project Big Picture is a non-starter, a transfer roundup, and today's Friday Feels all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So before I start, just to let you know, I'm going to be on holiday for a few weeks coming up. The reason I'm telling you now is because whenever I let you guys know at the end of the video, some of you don't watch it and it gets to Monday and you're all asking, where on earth is Matt? So now you know on Monday's Daily News and for the next 2 weeks why I won't be here. But with that said and done, let's get into the news because Chelsea have got a rather interesting proposition for Juventus and it involves Paulo Dybala. The Argentinian striker has sat down with Juve about talks over a new contract because his contract expires in just under 2 years' time. But as we've seen with so many other players, once you enter the last year of the contract or the summer before your contract runs out, that's kind of when the selling club starts to panic and is willing to accept a lesser offer. At the moment for Paulo Dybala, he's a great player. He's heading into his prime years. He's definitely the future of Juve out front, considering Ronaldo's going to be 36. You'd probably get about 70 to 80 million for him. Fast forward to July 2021, when he's entering the last year of his contract, and if he hasn't signed a new one, I'm pretty sure Juve would accept about 50 million for him. Obviously begrudgingly, but there's not really much they can do. They definitely don't want to lose him on a free transfer. So step in Chelsea. There have been loads of reports linking every single player under the sun with Chelsea, and that's because they had a really good transfer window, spending a lot of money. It looks like it's not going to stop there. They're also reportedly looking at Gigi Donnarumma, whose contract runs out at the end of the season, but Dybala is the main target. The reason being, I have absolutely no idea. Honestly, Giroud's a great third backup. Tammy Abraham is coming along very nicely, and they've just signed Timo Werner. I'm not so sure where Dybala would fit into this team. Do I think he's better than what they've got? Yes. But what's the point in just continuously buying players and just more and more and more when you're going to have so many unhappy guys in the squad? As for Juventus, as I mentioned before, with Ronaldo getting a bit older, they can probably do with keeping Dybala rather than selling him, and you can more than expect them to put a rather attractive offer on the table for the striker within the next few months or so. Having said that though, and moving on to some more defensive news for Manchester United and Arsenal, both of whom have had a few question marks over the defence of late, especially Manchester United. The man in question is Villarreal's Pau Torres. Now on the face of it, you'd expect Villarreal to reject every single Arsenal bid for one of their players because Unai Emery is in charge and he's taken a few swipes at his former club in recent weeks. Having said that, if one of the Premier League teams puts together a financially attractive offer for Villarreal, I've no doubt they'll accept the bid. Apparently 35 million euros is the amount that Villarreal will accept for the 23-year-old, and he'd be a pretty good upgrade to what both teams have got. As for Arsenal, it looks like William Saliba isn't ready for the first team just yet. There are rumours that he could still be loaned out before the end of the domestic transfer window today. David Luiz, nah. Mustafi, Socrates, Gabriel's a brilliant signing. I just think Arsenal need a few more players in that area to really strengthen up and get rid of a few as well. As for Manchester United, I wouldn't trust any of their centre-backs at the moment. Lindelof and Bailly have good matches, bad matches, bit inconsistent, not exactly what you want in that position on the field. Harry Maguire needs to be out the spotlight for quite some time before he comes back into the fold, even though according to Rio Ferdinand, Maguire definitely won't ask for a rest. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if he's still in charge, could do no worse than bringing in the Spaniard. Again, he's not top level kind of player. He's not the Koulibalys that United were linked with. He's not the Upamecano that United and Arsenal were linked with, or the Ruben Diaz who eventually went to Manchester City, but he's still a good defender, still solid, and definitely going to improve what they've got at the moment. As I said before, it looks like they may have one or two other options, but for 35 million, a first-team centre-back is a pretty good deal. Moving on though, and to this Project Big Picture. This is where the top six planned their evil little scheme to take control of the Premier League, and it's been rejected. 14 of the 20 teams had to say yes, and there was a resounding no. This is obviously damaging for Liverpool and Manchester United, who looked like they were the ringleaders in this operation. One part of the deal was a £250 million bailout to the Football League, involving the Championship, League One and League Two sides who are financially struggling at the moment due to the impact of COVID and not having too many fans in the stadium. Aside from this though, now that the project was rejected, apparently the deal has been lessened, and by lessened I mean lowered to about 50 million. That's how much the Premier League is offering Leagues 1 and League 2 as a kind of bailout sum, and that's just not enough. It's been rejected as derisory, and honestly I think they could do more. There is no way, with all the money that's in the Premier League, with all the money that the individual clubs have, never mind the Premier League as a whole, that they would need to go and give some bailout money, the 50 million, but then ask for so much in return. They can see that the whole Football League, including the Championship, is down on its knees with so many clubs threatening to go out of business, so they're willing to give a little bit of the fraction they would have given and still want something in return. They're still going to want to call the shots on the League Cup. Still going to want to call the shots on apparently some sort of breakaway division which would lead the National League, League One and League Two in some sort of mixed division. I don't quite know how it's all working out. Basically, the Premier League are being utter bastards about it and really just need to do something for the sake of football and not for the sake of their bloody big, deep pockets for once. Having said that, it is, of course, transfer deadline day 2, the unbelievably inventive way of describing the second transfer deadline day, as domestically transfers can still be made until tonight. That is Friday evening. And one of those is Said Benrahma moving to West Ham. Yes, I know earlier in the week I said he was going to go, then it fell through, then Palace and Newcastle, this, that and the other. But finally, he's having his medicals in East London and looks like he'll be playing under David Moyes for this season. Elsewhere, in a vastly different contrast to this, Luis Felipe Scolari. Remember him, the former Chelsea manager, the former Brazilian World Cup winning manager? He is back in football with Cruzeiro in the second division of Brazilian football. Elsewhere, and Manchester United reportedly made quite a few bids for Real Madrid's Martin Odegaard before he returned from the loan deal at Real Sociedad in the summer. And lastly but not least, the loans continue for Victor Moses. He has now gone out to Spartak Moscow on loan with an option to buy, meaning that since he joined the club in 2012, he is now on his 6th loan deal. I can't even remember them all. I think it was Liverpool, West Ham, Stoke, Fenerbahce, Inter, and now Spartak Moscow. That may be right, it may be wrong if my nerdy football knowledge serves me well. Anyway, finally, lastly but not least, we come to this week's Friday Feels. This is where you guys leave your footballing predictions in the comment section below. And Angelina will read out a few of them on Monday because you know why? I'm on holiday, like I said at the beginning of the show. There's still going to be loads of you commenting going, oh, where's Matt? Anyway, as for this weekend of football, club football is back, the international break is behind us, and there are some absolutely stunning games to watch. First off, the Merseyside derby. This is the biggest one in years. With Everton's form, it looks like it could be a cracker. So I'm going to say 0-0. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2, yeah, 2-2. Fantastic game of football. Big game in the Serie A as well. AC Milan against Inter Milan. I'm going to go for Inter just to edge this one, 2-1. I know AC Milan have had a cracking start to the season, 3 wins out of 3 and not goals conceded. But Inter Milan going forward are so good. Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 Inter Milan. And lastly but not least, Gareth Bale is going to make his second debut for Spurs against West Ham and find himself on the score sheet. So there you have it. That is all from me for today. Make sure you guys let me know your Friday feels in the comment section down below and your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. But until a few weeks' time, have a great couple of weeks and I will see you guys soon.